Well, joining me now is the shrinking Violet Elora. And how many kgs have you lost?
55 now.
55. So something has to give, and
Yes.
that's the skin.
It is. So the skin is definitely given, and it's not really going back. It is just a reality of the weight loss, having extra skin, especially when you lose a huge amount like I have. Some women even get it at 30 kilos lost.
It's incredible. And we've got some images, and I think you're such a brave soul, but pictures speak volumes, and there we are. So that's the before and after. Can you believe that is you?
It's crazy. It really, it blows my mind every time I see them. I mean, obviously I notice the skin, but I pretty much have grown to look past that now, and yeah, it's really exciting and it makes me feel awesome.
And coming up in August, though, you are heading over to the States to actually have that removed.
Going under the knife, yes.
But we'll talk about it for, another time. But the excess skin, that is a valid point. You lose all this weight. So what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, it is really hard, and I do get messages from people quite often who are really struggling to come to terms with it. A lot of people do, you know, get down by their skin because they've gone through this massive effort to lose a huge amount of weight and think that they're, you know, finally going to feel comfortable in themselves, and then they have a lot of extra skin to deal with. So it is really, really hard for most people. I kind of, at the moment, while it is hard for me, the removal of it is more for medical reasons, just because, you know, it gets to the point where I have to tuck it into my stockings, it gets in the way of me exercising, and other little kind of skin problems that I get as a result. But other than that, I kind of almost wear it like a badge of honour. It did take a long time to get used to it, and I have had a lot of extra skin for, you know, close on a year now after having lost all the weight. So it is really hard for people, but you kind of just have to be like, hey, you know what? I've lost this weight, this is what I get for it, and it's not necessarily a negative thing, but you know, surgery is always an option.
You're the exception. You have embraced yourself, you're confident, you know who you are, but how about those girls out there, and guys, 'cause it's not just about the girls, who are actually embarrassed of their body, especially when they're potentially meeting a new partner or boyfriend?
It is really hard because I met my boyfriend while I had all the excess skin. I mean, we live together now, and it took me a long time to be comfortable in front of him. And even though he would ask to look at it, I wouldn't let him. And it took a long time. A lot of what some women do, and some men will wear what you call Spanx under your clothes. It does hold it in, it does smooth it out, but obviously when you take off your clothes it is a different story.
It's a whole Bridget Jones moment, isn't it, really?
Exactly.
Hello, mummy. Yeah.
Really, really hard. And it is really, really sad because it does affect a lot of people's mental health. It is a huge problem, and there should be more funding for it. But yeah, one thing that can help when you are losing the weight, obviously, is to go slowly. People who've had surgery to lose the weight, it is a lot harder for them because they don't have an option at the pace that they lose their weight. So it really does depend on your skin if you're going to get it or not. I have watched someone who had a gastric sleeve and lost, you know, 80 kilos who doesn't have 1 ounce of the skin that I have on my arms or thighs. She has it on her stomach but nowhere else, and it just goes to show it's what kind of skin you have. I've lost 55 kilos over, you know, just under 2 years, and yeah, my skin is pretty bad compared to most people's. So I have really soft skin, that's just my skin. Tips for helping to keep it at bay and improve it: it's not going to get rid of it. Time is the only thing that will make it shrink back, but other than that, making sure that you lift weights at the gym, because building muscle reduces the appearance. It doesn't necessarily make it go away, but the more muscle you have, the tighter your skin is going to get to you, and will reduce the appearance, as well as regular exfoliation with gloves and mitts.
Okay, I'm going to be the killjoy here. Should it be government funded?
Yes.
Why?
I went through the whole process of trying to get it funded, and it was very, very controversial. It was the only time there had ever been any negative comments on my journey from people. I was quoted saying a word that I probably shouldn't, because I said, I believe I deserve, or something like that. Not even deserve, it might have been another word that people didn't like, and it was written in not a very nice way, quoted, but that's life at the end of the day. And I do believe it is something that should be offered for funding. A lot of women especially suffer huge mental problems as a result, just with coming to terms with it. People like me, I have an ongoing staph infection under my apron as a result of excess skin, because, you know, it's a whole fold in front of my body.
Yeah.
Things like that. I think when you've gone through a massive amount of weight loss, I found when I was there and talking to the plastic surgeon, he told me that I was the perfect candidate for it, but because I had nothing else wrong with me, as in I was entirely healthy except for the small skin infection, which to me isn't obviously small, and I'm still costing the taxpayer with the creams and things that I need for it. He said because I didn't have anything wrong with me, I didn't have type 2 diabetes, I didn't get the gastric sleeve to remove the skin, they couldn't do it, and I was denied funding.
Okay, well, we will continue it next time you're with us, because we're talking about the journey to remove the excesses. Thanks so much, Laura.